Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. This time is the Mezco 112 exclusive, the MDX Onyx version of the Sovereign Knight. So, let's get started. I know everyone, the first thing I want to get out of the way is that everyone's like, oh, it's too shiny, it's too shiny. Listen, if you look up what Onyx is in the Onyx color, this is perfectly fine and accurate for what they were aiming for. If you don't like it, I think that's totally fine. But even the picture showed you that it was going to be shiny when light reflects upon it. So that's what you're going to get. And the other thing I want to touch up on is that without light, it actually looks really good. It's stealthy. It's when light hits it. So I just want to point that out to you guys. It actually looks really good. But obviously with light, it's going to show that way. So I wanted to knock that out first with you guys. So let's get into the actual review. Let's talk about articulation. Let's talk about the look. Let's knock all this out. Real quick, I like the big bat symbol. I think it has the Keaton feel. Not only that, if you've ever read Batman Troika from Detective Comics, you would know like it has the feel of classic, just classic comics and Keaton '89 Batman. So this is a really good vibe. And technically speaking, I know everybody's worried about that whole debacle with the regular Sovereign Knight. Considering this is out, I'm pretty sure Sovereign Knight is going to be very close to this as well, which I'm going to be very excited for. Hopefully it stays the same. I have a little bit of faith with this releasing first, so I'm hoping it stays this way. Now, I want to talk about the look, the cowl. The cowl is actually really dope. And this is on the normal head. The nice onyx feel with light reflecting it. There's a lot of technical vibe to it. As you can see, the mask is more Kevlar design with metal underplates. Just looks really good. Batman is a more defined face. This is really nice. The suit itself also looks really, really wonderful. So those lines that everybody was worried about losing, it's here on the Onyx. The stitching is here as well. So like I said, I have a lot of faith that the normal release will have it as well. I just love the way it reflects light. At first, I wasn't really feeling the gloss. And then I sat down and I played with it without light and under light, and it just works really well. The cape folds like the Ascendant Knight one. So as you want, you can fold it right over. And you definitely have the Keaton vibe. And when you're not doing that, you can fold it right back into position. This is the one case where I'm like, this is okay to not have a wired cape. You'll get the pieces to make it flow that Mezco usually provides you with for Batman capes. Now, as far as articulation goes, the arm actually goes in pretty far. Normally going upward. Put it back down. You can rotate it up. Suit doesn't seem too hindered at all because you can actually rotate his arm all the way up. The arm is double jointed, but you want to be careful because your gauntlet actually comes up a little bit on the side. So there's bicep swivel as well. So real quick, when you are bending the arm, make sure you rotate. As you can see here, it turns in. And then you push it through again. But you got to be careful for that gauntlet. So just be careful, guys. It is double jointed, but that gauntlet is definitely going to get in the way. So just keep that in mind. As far as ab crunch and torso rotation, you can go left and you can go right. You can go backwards, which has a great extension. Then you can go forward. Not really crazy forward, but it's there, so that's what matters. You actually get a little bit of lower ab rotation, ab crunch / rotation. So there's not too much. As far as the leg articulation goes, I was able to balance them on one leg pretty easy. And the leg goes out pretty far, goes up forward. It's double jointed going back. There's thigh swivel. And he can hit crouching positions pretty well. So I think that's all pretty good. Ankle pivot is not the best going inward, but it does go pretty far outward. So that's pretty good. Now, real quick, I want to test the kicking. Oh, real quick, the head rotation before I miss that. He can look down really good. He can look up pretty decently, tilt left and right. Standard Mezco for Batman with the cowl, because the cowl is pretty much always in the way. So the leg actually extends pretty far. So with a little bit of maneuvering and some weight balance, we can actually get Batman to kick really high on one leg. Really, really well. So yeah, when you are martial arting, keep this in mind that he actually balances really, really well. The cape will help keep him balanced. The belt is a great touch. It is not going to be the same as the yellow bat symbol. This is more gold as well as the symbol being yellow. So for those of you that want it to match, you can paint it a little bit more yellow if you want, but I actually like the gold. I want to turn around the backside to see that you can actually place his grapple gun here. So, now, I still haven't figured out how to master it because there's no real instructions. But grapple gun, there we go. The grapple gun actually stays right there in the back. Voila. Next up, I want to talk about the other heads as well as the accessories. Let's get you a nice, cool look. Yeah, there we go. So here we have the scowling head. I know a lot of people weren't feeling this because they see the teeth. I don't mind it because at a certain distance, it's going to work out really well. One thing I do like about the scowling head, it's a mean Batman, but more importantly, it has the short ears. I am a big fan of short ears Batman. It's really nice. And I know it's like I said, some people just don't like the little bit of teeth showing. I really don't mind it, but I like short-eared Batman. I wish the other heads actually came with short ears, but they don't, and that's fine. Next up, I want to talk about the battle damage head. Now, this is where I got the idea for the plates, because when you see the scars, you'll see that there's metal plating under. You actually have some at the top as well for scratch marks. You have 3 across and 1 up top. You have the damage head, the black eye, and a little bit of blood, scuff marks. Looks really, really cool. I like this head a lot. This one is really dope, and I expect this to be used in a lot of brutal Batman fights. But actually, like I said, you see the plates under, and this is where I got the idea that Batman has gone full-blown tech in his gear. Next up is the unmasked head. Now, mine has some hints of gray at the temple, but more importantly, this head looks like the Ascended Knight one, because obviously it's him through the 3 stages. So this one is the Ascended Knight, this one is Sovereign. As you can see, there's a little bit more detail. The face is a bit thinner. The eyes are a lot more blue. The eyebrows are thinner, and it's a little bit more defined in the hair. So they just slowly but surely give you more definition with him. This is really cool. Next up, we're going to talk about the Bat Drone. So the Bat Drone's pretty nice. There's no way to put it on a stand, so I got to find a way to make this work while using a stand. These actually rotate really, really well. Little bit of pivot going forward and back, rotates going up. So when you want to hover or maneuver back quickly, you can actually do that or make it seem like it's doing that. It's a nice black and gold color. It's really nice. The Bat Drone was definitely a nice touch, especially if you played any of the video games. This is definitely a little play on that. Then you have a slew of Batarangs. You get 10. I didn't want to take any out and lose them, so I just kept them in there to look nice. You get a Sonic Disruptor. I'm got to figure out what this little porthole is for. Haven't figured it out just yet. Sonic Disruptor actually can twist here, and it can come out. Oh, wait. May have figured something out. Hold on. All right, yep. So the Sonic Disruptor, when not in use, you can actually just do this. Take it apart, I guess. Make it look like Batman's putting together one of his signature weapons, just like in the game. So we have the Sonic Disruptor. Then we have a large Batarang. Large Batarang is like a signature special Batarang. So it could be a bomb one. It can be a noise one, a remote control one. You never know. This will be your one special Batarang. It's black and gold, reminiscent of the Onyx one. Then you have hands. So for the hands, you have pose and action hands. These are going to hold your items. You can put Batarangs in them as well. Probably the large one or the sonic gun. These are not for holding guns. These are for holding other things. If you wanted to put a pole in it, like when you're fighting Deathstroke, these are your normal hands. Then we have action hands. So these can be used as fighting, normal pose hands, put them on around your waist. These are neutral action hands. These hands are for holding Batarangs. Definitely for Batarangs. They are slimmer. I don't know if you guys can see it. They're a lot more slimmer. So you can see what's going on here. These ones can hold Batarangs in between the fingers as well. So just be careful. You don't want to lose any. These are trigger finger hands for holding the Sonic Disruptor and the grapple gun. Keep these in mind. And last but not least, the very special one that I'm going to enjoy using, the Kryptonite Knuckle Duster. This is only used for the right hand. While the rest you have 2 of everything else, you get one kryptonite knuckle duster. Batman probably bought most of the kryptonite anyway, so yeah, keep that in mind. As well as the grappling hook for the extension version with rope, which I never untie. I should probably use those more often. But yeah, all in all, I like this a lot. I like this color. I am a big fan of the Keaton Batman. I'm also a big fan of the Troika storyline. So this works out for me. If this is the next step on where they're going when the normal run releases, I am definitely going to enjoy the normal release as much as I'm enjoying this one. And again, didn't like the gloss at first, but then it sat down and it grew on me very quickly. So I'm here for it. You know what? I don't mind it. It'll teach me new ways to work around with my lighting and have some fun. So yeah. Now we're gonna jump into size comparisons. There's actually gonna be a ton of stuff to compare to, because the Bat family is so large, and I'm gonna use all the DC stuff that I can use in my disposal to show you guys what's going on. So real quick, let's show him up against the previous Batman Day Batman, the Ascending Knight. So now you can see he is, well, let me fix the legs. So as you can see, he's not much taller, but he's beefier. He has more body armor. He's definitely a different look. This is him starting out. This is him at the height of his technology, mastering most of his skills. And as you can see, Batman has definitely become a rounder, bigger beefcake. So it works out. That scowl is more defined here as well. So these are all good things to keep in mind as we look at Batman through the ages. Then we have him against their version of the comic book Superman, which I think this Superman is now too small against this Batman. But I'm pretty sure you could figure out something to make it work. I think it's just, actually, you know what? It actually works out just fine. Because Superman is buff too, so it works out. Just a tad bit too short though. Here he is next to a DC Icon's Nightwing, which I think this one actually works out pretty well in terms of scale. Because I think that Nightwing is actually supposed to be thinner. He just looks a little too small, but it'll work in some action shots. Next up, here he is next to the Mezco Joker, which these two are always going to go hand in hand and look great. Phenomenal even. Then we have the Mezco Deathstroke. Oh crap, you know what? I forgot the Revoltech one. So, but you pretty much know what you're getting into that. So these three look very nice together. Here he is next to Catwoman. These two don't look so bad at all together. Next up, I want to do Collect and Connect figure, which is Clayface. And then for those of you who have the Mafex Deadshot, I think these two are going to look great fighting each other. Because Mafex Deadshot actually ended up being too big, but it works out just fine against Batman. Even if he is bigger than Batman, I think with this costume design, it actually works out with these two very, very well. Next up, we're going to do Tactical Suit Batman from both Mafex and Mezco. So you can see what you guys look like. For those of you that ask, the Tactical Suit head really doesn't work vice versa on these. It's a little bit too big. I'll actually do some pictures at the end so you can see that as well. And just for giggles, we're going to do it with other lines and other things. Here he is next to a Mezco Punisher. Here he is next to Mezco Blade. Everybody has cool clothing. Last but not least, we have a Mythic Legion's brother Maldibus. I might have said his name wrong, so excuse me. Here he is with an SH Figuarts. A Marvel Legends. See, I told you there would be a lot to compare to, so again, forgive me. 1000 toy synthetic human. Like I said, you never know what you're going to use it up against. So then an articulated icons ninja for your army building photos. And for those of you who like to do Dark Horse crossovers, here is a Predator, an ultimate version for scale. So voila. Hope this answers most of your questions. I hope you found it informative, guys. But most of all, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you do good, be good, and drink your water. Later, guys.